Just like everybody else, I'm jumping on trend too. I'm going to talk about the tools I've purchased over the last year. This video is going to be all about my favorites. I'll probably make another video about the ones I dislike, but let's just get it started, make this quick. The first tool is the vessel screwdrivers. I just got these probably 4 or 5 months ago. I really like them. The Phillips is top notch. Overall, just for screwdrivers, pretty good. The handles are kind of different, but they're not too bad actually. They're growing on me is what I'm saying, all right? I like the old school hard handles like the SKs. Them are my favorite handles. These vessels are pretty top notch. The next one are these snap-on pliers. These are the slip joint needle nose or long nose. I'm not exactly sure what they call them. I love these things. I've had these for a few months now. Big fan of them. They just work really well. They're good at pulling any kind of fuses, plugs in and out. They're really good at cotter pins, stuff of that nature. They do deflect a little on the nose like any needle nose will, but these just seem stout and they're always good in your hands. The sizing on these pliers are a little weird. This thing is a really big plier, and then this one's kind of actually a little bit small, but overall really good pliers. I really enjoy them. Probably one of my favorite snap-on pliers I own. The next is the Icon flush cutter. This thing has just really impressed me. I think I picked this up on sale for like 12, 13 bucks. I haven't really used it for any wire. It says you can use it for soft wire. I don't really cut any of that stuff. I've been using it mostly for zip ties, cutting flashing. If you fish at all or organize anything with like Plano boxes, you get all them little dividers that are all stuck together and you have to cut them apart. These are awesome for it. You get a really nice flush cut with these. The dividers fit so good in there. To me, if you're a fisherman or anything with Plano boxes, go buy these. It's a no-brainer. These things work really well for that. The next one is these Vim magnetic spark plug sockets. I've never had the magnetic ones before, and I can't really live without them now. By far, night and day difference to the rubber ones. I will never go back to the rubber ones. I actually took pretty much all my rubber ones out of my drawer and just have these. I kept a few of the big oddball sizes for like bigger equipment. This set pretty much handles everything that I do. And even like a lot of these I don't really use. I've only used the 5/8 and the 13/16 so far. I don't really dabble in metric stuff. Most of my stuff's all old cars. These things work really good. They're also very thin. They fit in around headers really well. Big fan of these. These are like over 100 some bucks. But I know you can get cheaper ones. If you can get some magnetic ones, get them. I don't really think you have to buy necessarily quality ones, as long as the magnets ain't coming out of them. I haven't had a problem with these yet. Awesome. Can't recommend these enough. Great, great, great option. One of my favorite things I came across this year, which is one of the stupidest things, but it's so nice. So I have a couple welders, plasma cutter. I run 220 everything, and I always had a problem with the extension cords. I hate rolling them up. Here's just a pain. I could never get them nicely rolled up good and then have them hang there nicely. They'd always just fall down. I'd grab my plas out and the cords would all fall on the ground. It's just a whole pain. I got this reel off of Amazon. It's a MORryde or something. I don't know the real term. This thing will take any 220-ish cord. I think you could probably even put smaller cords on here if you wanted. This is a 50-foot cord in here, and I still have a little bit more room. I could maybe get, if you had a custom cord, maybe a 75-foot, maybe. You'd be pushing it. It's a 50-foot cord, fits perfectly. It winds up nice. My only complaint about the whole thing is it's kind of weird the way you have to add the shims and all that to it, but a little bit pricey, but to me, well worth it. The thing will never break. It's a very simple thing. You could also make this if you really wanted to with some bearings, a little bit of steel, but I think it's a great purchase. When I used to get done with the project, I'd leave the extension cord laying on the ground for a few days and just always be in the way, and I'd always dread rolling it up. It would just suck. This made everything so much better. It's really one of them unsung heroes, you know, like you don't like buying it because you don't really get that much joy out of it, I guess, but it makes everything so much easier. If you have 220 cords laying around, I would buy one of these. This next tool is probably my favorite tool I've bought in a while. It's very expensive. You don't use it much, but when you need it, it is the best thing ever. And that is the HP Venom induction heater. Now, this thing is, I think, around 600 bucks. It is pretty big, but it also is kind of flexible to get into certain positions. You can make the wires longer you need, get them in anywhere you kind of can get. I haven't really ran into a problem where I couldn't use it. Biggest problem I've had with this thing is when you're in a real tight area, you sometimes fight getting the wire in there. And then once it's already heated up, it's hard to get it out sometimes if it's in your way to get the bolt or fastener out. Because the wire does get hot as you heat. It's just the way it goes. But awesome, awesome tool. If you're looking to buy one of these, I personally would buy it from JB Tools or JD Co at Jersey Discount. They throw in a whole extra coil pack. I wish I would have known that when I bought this. I didn't buy it from them. The coils are very expensive for what they are. With a little bit of time and a little bit of Amazoning, you can make these very easily. And you can also buy just some cheap knockoff ones. I haven't used them. I've just been making my own as I need them. I wouldn't really recommend going to buy. They're pretty expensive. Maybe you guys that are professionals or something can just justify spending $100 on the just to have them. But to me, you're talking about $12 worth of wire for $100. I can make my own. I got free time. My next one is the Milwaukee Mid-Torque. I don't know what gen or whatever this is. It's a newer mid-torque. The thing's awesome. It's got a lot of power. It's small. I rarely use my bigger impacts anymore. I pretty much use this thing for about everything that I do. I don't really work on big equipment outside of my Bobcat, so this thing works pretty well for me. I rarely run into something that this won't take it off that I gotta get my bigger one. The next one is an honorable mention because I just got it, and all I've done with it is take lug nuts off of a couple of vehicles around here, and that's the new Milwaukee Stubby. This thing has a lot of power for its size. Now, I don't know how well it's gonna hold up. I think there's gonna be issues with that maybe, possibly. But right now, very impressed. I think this thing is gonna be awesome, but also can cause some problems. Because I think this thing's gonna have so much power and I'm gonna use it on small fasteners and I'm gonna end up breaking shit. And that's gonna probably be an issue, but that's more on the user than anything. But that's what always seems to happen with me with these freaking cordless tools. I'm gonna end this on probably one of the biggest surprise tools that I came across this year. I would have never thought that this thing would have been as good as it was or is. It blew my mind. If you know anything about my channel, pretty much my channel got kicked off on this. And that is the Icon ball joint press tool. This thing is awesome. I keep saying it and I will keep saying it. I have yet to have problems with it. I've done, I think, 8 sets of ball joints with it now and never failed. Now, I have only done this on one big pickup, and that was in that one video. That was that 1-ton Duramax. That thing is clean as all can be. They weren't rusted in there. I did think it kind of limited it out on it, but also I wasn't using none of my other techniques to help it. I just wanted to see what the tool was. Now, if you had a full rusted up big pickup, I don't know, but for any kind of cars, any kind of small stuff, I have had zero issues with this thing. Also, it works for U-joints. You just got to pay attention because you can screw up your yokes if you're not lined up good enough on that. So just be aware of that. The thing is awesome. I'll give Icon a lot of props on this tool. Big fan of that. I was doing some B-roll and I realized I forgot actually my favorite tool that I bought this last year. And that is this Dewalt shop vac. The thing is awesome because it's quiet. It has good suction, but the main thing is it is quiet as all can be. All you really hear is the suction of the hose. I don't know how much you can actually pick up on there, but I'm standing right behind the exhaust. It's really just quiet. I can listen to the TV the whole time. The thing is awesome. This thing is by far my favorite shop vac I've ever owned. I've always hated shop vacs because of their noise, and this thing is so quiet. I can hear the TV when I'm just cleaning up. It makes it so much better to clean up the shop now. I don't really care for the ends on it. I did kind of rig up some other stuff for that. Mostly I've been using this for is cleaning the floors. Instead of sweeping, I pretty much don't sweep anymore. I just vacuum. I'm not creating dust just getting in the air. It's so much better now. I actually don't mind cleaning the floors in the shop. I can't believe I forgot it on the list. I had to throw it in here because the thing is awesome. It is expensive, I think it cost like 260 bucks or something. I was very hesitant on purchasing it, but overall, I have no complaints really, except again, the ends, and it takes forever to get that Chinese plastic smell out of it. It smells for a long time. Like, I'm gonna say for months. I don't know why, it just gives off a terrible odor for a while. It pretty much doesn't do it anymore. I've had this thing for almost 10 months now, I think. I don't want to say game changer because whatever, but I'd never buy anything else. I even put the smaller hose on it when I'm cleaning out a car or need to use the smaller attachments. I always use this one and not my little shop vac anymore. Just this thing pretty much religiously because of the quiet. It's so quiet. Can't say enough good things about it. With all these tools, I don't know how they're gonna hold up. I've only had them for a year, so longevity, that's why I don't really want to do a review. It's just my opinions. This is what I liked. I probably will do a full review on the shop vac because I did kind of mod it a little bit. If you want to see a full review on any of the other items, just let me know. I'll do it. It might just take me a bit, but overall, I'm very pleased with 95% of the tools I bought this year. And I did buy a decent amount. If you want to see the tools I'm not very happy with, that video will also be out now or shortly. Have a good day. Now it's the end of the video and I ask only one thing. If you would, I'd like to hear what your favorite tools you bought this year. I'm always looking for more stuff. I always like to hear what everybody's opinions are. If you have any of these tools and they served you wrong, also definitely say that. People need to know. I'm not a professional mechanic. I just work in my own shop doing all sorts of random things, and these tools haven't failed me yet. I don't know how they hold up in professional settings, but to me, they're all pretty good.